Hey, second graders. It's good to see you. I wish I could see you. I know you can see me. Side story. My kitty had surgery a couple weeks ago, and there's a big snowstorm coming tomorrow. And she's been a tricky patient. She's not a very patient in letting herself heal up and get better. So I have to get her to the vet this afternoon before the snowstorm comes. And you know what? We were going to do this together in class. I would have been here, showed you this. And you are all at these different points where you're either still building and finishing building today. And if you are already finished building, then you're doing this right here. And I know you can do it without me. And I also know, I'm pretty sure you've done it before. Maybe not. Anyway, I made you a cardboard video. I think in the video it shows you how I bossed the stuff around that I gave you. I turned my cheeseburger starting to be built. Here's the top of my bun. I have some lettuce with foil and bubble wrap. Made myself some three-dimensional tomato slices that I'm going to paint red. I got some bacon strips that I'm going to be putting on here. This is so pop art. It's like celebrating the cheeseburger. Just like I was going to celebrate a toothbrush, but I was too hungry last week. I made a cup. Celebrate that. Hot chocolate. Liam, I think it was you that gave me that idea because of those giant marshmallows. Anyway, it's time to make these things last forever. Okay? Forever meaning we've got to make it so your stuff's not all floppy and that it stays together before I send you home the paint. So here's what we're going to need. There should be some newspaper in your bag. And what we're going to be doing is tearing this up, dipping it in glue, and covering your pop art sculpture. Okay? Now, in school, I would usually mix you up a batch of something like this. Just like a powdered form of a glue. This can be done at home really easily. All you need is a little bit of water and glue mixed together. Paper mache. Yeah, it's gooey. So let's talk about how to set up your workspace. You are going to want a towel for your hands. Like a paper towel is fine. You are going to want to put some extra cardboard down at your desk. Okay, I took this one right out of the bag that I gave you. I hadn't used this piece, so hey, figured that. Or just even newspaper. Or if you're working at a space that it's okay to get a little bit gluey or whatever, you can do that too. The other piece of this is we're going to untape our glue, but I am going to ask that you get some kind of a container. And in my brain, I'm thinking, I sent them home a paper bowl, but now I'm afraid I didn't send you home a paper bowl. So if you don't have one, I am sorry, because I think I thought I did this, but I don't know. I know you got so much stuff. So you could use anything. Bowl. This is just Elmer's glue. You could use a cup, like a coffee cup. It's still going to wash out. Nothing toxic, nothing harmful, nothing forever, okay? So empty Tupperwares, if maybe you save those, takeout food, yogurt cup, anything. I'm going to go ahead and use this yogurt container, okay? And what I'm going to do is take my glue, and I'm going to pour it in there. Just some. You can always add more. Like my toothpaste story. You can never put the toothpaste back inside the tube once you squeeze it out. You can always add more, but you can't put it back in. So, my glue has been poured. Kind of hard to see white on white, but there's that glue in there. All right, I love this. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water. Okay, watch. Like the toothpaste story, you can always add more, but you can't take it out. We want it to look like a consistency of, I like to stir it with my finger because you're going to have to get your fingers wet anyway. So I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. I'll also tell you what my high school art teacher used to call this whenever we used paper mache. She used to say it looked like an elephant sneezed because it's just gooey and drippy. So look, it's it almost looks like yogurt, but more like the drinkable yogurt, not like super thick. Or like if you ever stir your ice cream around until it melts, like that. Okay? You'll know. You really can't do it wrong. I just wouldn't do pure glue, not straight glue. You want to add a little bit of water to it, just to thin it out. Like, let me see if I can. Shake, 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 shake. Okay, maybe I'll do this. I'll pour it in here so you can see what it's like. Okay? Like milk, but thicker, like maybe a milkshake. I just have a feeling you'll know. You'll know. Okay, I'm back. Now, here's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with something as simple as my aluminum foil lettuce, because I want this to become lettuce that stays crinkly and crunchy like real green lettuce does, but I want it to last forever. So here's my newspaper. So satisfying. I'm even putting a little bit of extra on my lap. Why not? This is a pretty long strip. So what I'm doing is I'm going to make sure that they're manageable pieces. Like, I'm not going to take this huge piece of newspaper and kerplunk it in my glue. Like, you're going to make a mess. I'm going to tear up a bunch of pieces before I get started. I'm setting myself up. Just like if you're going to do a painting, you get your paints first. You don't go get one color at a time. More newspaper strips, tearing it in half. Should have newspaper left in this bag. If not, honestly, you can use paper towels for this too, or napkins. They're just not as strong, so it can get like a little bit, like if you don't like wet paper, it can get a little creepy, but it works. Okay, here we go. Da-da-da. Let me show you my workspace here. I have my lettuce. I have my paper scraps. I have my dish of watery glue. And now I'm going to take my paper. I'm going to submerge it. That means it's going scuba diving down here. And it's going to get all in there. And it's going to come up. And it's going to be drippy. Look. That's good. But you don't want all those drips. Ew. And my lettuce would get soggy. I want it to stay crispy. So, peace sign, squeegee. A squeegee's like a windshield wiper. Gets away all the extra water. Peace sign. Do it. Put your peace sign squeegee over your newspaper and watch. Push it on down over your cup so all the extra elephant snot lands in the cup. And now you just have this wet, slimy, awesome piece of newspaper that is going to dry, and is going to dry as hard as a piñata. Hopefully at some point in your long, long lives you have hit a piñata with a bat, or at least pulled the strings and had all the candy fall out. Now look, it's not staying like right, this piece isn't going to stick like right away. It, just like Elmer's glue, glue needs time to dry. So this is not something you're going to just do and then go stick it in your pocket. You know, you want to set it somewhere to dry, just like we do in the art room. Okay, here we go. I took my newspaper. It went scuba diving. It's dripping. Peace sign. Squeegee. Wipe my fingers on my cup here too. All right, wrapping it up. Here we go. Another layer to my lettuce. Now, I'm using like I can like form this. I'm still like, I always think about this being like clay too. Like it might be aluminum foil, it might be newspaper, it might have been cardboard and tape, but it's still sculpture. You can still make it do whatever you want it to do. Okay, so I would cover all of this, okay, all of this with the clay. I mean, see, can I get clay on the brain? All of this with the wet newspaper and glue mixture. Now, let's say I'm going to take my newspaper hamburger bun. It looks like it's already made of newspaper, so why can't I just dunk it in here and let it harden up? It won't work. And we want it to have an even texture, so when we paint it, it's going to look as real as we can make it look, no matter what you made. So again, guys, I'm going to do 2 more pieces for you. And then I'm going to ask that you do this, even though I'm not there. Because I'm not there anyway. Messy, whether I'm on the computer screen or not. Drip, squeegee, over the cup. This goes on the cheeseburger. Smooth it on. Nice. Okay. If you start to run out of glue, add a little more. If you run out of glue altogether, like there's not one drip of glue in your entire house, nowhere, you can actually make this paste with flour and water. That means flour from your kitchen cabinet that you use for baking. If you're gluten-free or those types of things, you can still make this recipe. It would just have to be gluten-free flour, or you just have to email Mrs. Nucci. I need more glue. It's just Elmer's glue and water. Look. So it's covering all the lumpy bumpy parts. And when it dries, it's going to be not as hard as my desk, but it's going to be like as hard as a book cover, like a hardcover book, if that makes sense. And what it's going to do is give us this awesome surface for us to do all our painting on, which I am packing up for you right now. So, wrapping it. Okay, it's like you're putting it in a cast. And then you're really smoothing it too. So it's like, aw, that's a nice hamburger bun. Good job, little buddy. Good job. I'm going to do each section of my cheeseburger one at a time. I'm thinking of one of you that made a pencil. You're just going to start at the top of your pencil and paper mache your way down. If you made a piece of pizza, start at the crust, work your way to the triangle points. If you have pepperoni on that pizza, maybe those should be done separately. It depends. Basically, the goal is to have all the parts of your sculpture that you've made with all the found objects that we repurposed from our bags and around your house into a paper mache covered sculpture. And it's going to dry. If we were at Mitchell School together right now, I would be having you guys put these out in the hallway to dry for the night, and I'd pick them up, or have you pick them up on your way back in the art room. Wrapping that up. I just want to cover it one layer. You can do 2, you don't have to, but I really want one layer that is going to just cover up all the lumps and bumps and masking tape, like all the stuff that I have underneath here. Like, I don't want anybody to know how I made this when it's all finished. And once this dries and it's painted, they won't. It's like, oh, wow, how'd you make that cheeseburger bun? I'll be like, I'm not telling. So here we go, scuba diving newspaper. Again, guys, as long as you are peace sign squeegeeing, you will have enough to get this done. Unless your sculpture is bigger than you, I can't promise I gave you enough glue for that. But I will certainly send you more if you let me know on the stream or in the classwork tab, because I am going to ask today that if you finish building, you send me a picture or you type me a note that says, I am done building. If you are on video number 2, this one, and you're paper macheing, I'm going to ask that you take a picture or say, I started paper mache. If you want to finish because you're like in the zone and you're all set up, please do. Please do. But just because I'm at the vet with Butters doesn't mean that you still can't do this, right? We would be doing this on the computer together right now. Yes, you could ask me questions, but you can also follow along with this video. And I'm going to do my bacon. I don't want to lose those crinkly wrinkles that make bacon so yummy. If you like bacon. Make vegetarian bacon too, turkey bacon. Look, almost seems silly. Like, yeah, my art teacher had me cover my cardboard with wet paper. It's important. Paper mache. If you're family is a Seinfeld fan. I'm making myself sound old now. There was a character that used to say, papier mâché, mâché. All right, anyway. Wrapping up. I did a little double wrap on the bacon. I like my bacon extra crispy. Okay. So, I'm still just like clay. Boss it around. Okay? And yeah, look at my hands. Like, they're so slimy. I love it. They're slimy and messy, but guess what? It doesn't stain my clothes. It washes out of all the things. It washes off of all the things. And then it dries and helps you make a really realistic bacon cheeseburger. I'm going to be putting these pieces together. Not right now. Separate sleepovers. And when they're dry, we'll attach it together and we're going to paint them. Well, I think we should probably paint first, attach later. Depends on what you made. Okay. This is where I'd say, do you have any questions? Glue, a little water. Shred up your newspaper first. Just strips. Not teeny tiny or you're going to make yourself cuckoo bananas. Just like, you know. Take it scuba diving. That means underwater, like to the bottom. Okay? It comes up and it's dripping like somebody sneezed. Achoo! And you're going to peace sign squeegee off all the extra over the cup. And just start covering all the parts of your sculpture. All right. I hope you love doing this. I can't wait to see. Your assignment, though, is I have to know where you are before Monday. Even if I was here today with you in class, I would still ask you to email me, take a picture, or post in the stream that you are all done being a builder. Maybe you're all done being a paper macher, or maybe you're in the middle of paper macheing and you need a little more time. I need to know from each one of you by 2 o'clock, how far did you get? Where are you? And that way I know how to get you all of those supplies. I am going to tell you guys, I think I have a lettuce fail here. I don't see how this paper is going to stick to this aluminum foil. I'm not giving up. I want lettuce. I'm going to figure this out. Okay, so I'm leaving everything to dry on my cardboard right here. It fits. Just going to set it out of the way. If you have a crazy cat like Butters, on top of the refrigerator maybe, just somewhere out of the way. Alrighty, so there were 2 videos. If you're on this video, good job, sticky hands. I'm going to try to shut my computer off now with a sticky finger. Guess I'll use a piece of newspaper to help. Alright guys, good job. I will see you soon. Send me a note, send me pictures.